Here at home, we are following up with a little boy and his mom who first shared their emotional health journey with WPTV News 2 years ago. Tobias and his mom now celebrating an incredible milestone after this little boy was diagnosed with leukemia. WPTV's Hani Rodriguez recently caught up with the two who shared some incredible news. Hani?
Good afternoon, Todd. Yes, the De Leon family wanted to share their pain, their hardships, and also the courage in hopes that this would help another family. When I first met Tobias and his mom, Charity, he had just been diagnosed with cancer. She had to close her small business, sell their home in Green Acres, and really start over in many respects. But today, I'm sharing a bit more of their journey and the remarkable little boy, Tobias, they'll get to see grow.
Go ahead, back and forth.
It's the end of treatment for Super Tobias, now a healthy 4-year-old.
It's relief, so much gratitude because there's so many parents that don't get to this day.
A day his family had longed for since Tobias was diagnosed with B-cell acute lymphoblastic leukemia at just 2 years old.
Life will never be the same, but we're creating a new life, and every day we're striving to make it better.
A new life that includes their new home in Port St. Lucie.
Hi. How are you?
During our visit, I learned about Charity's new venture, an online artisan vegan shop and food blog called Charity's Vegan Kitchen.
In the process of just home during his treatment, I started doing a lot of research into what we could do to be healthier.
From her sourdough breads to her homemade jams, she says clean ingredients are her focus.
You go to the store and you buy a baguette and it has like 15 ingredients. This has organic unbleached flour, cane sugar, Himalayan sea salt, and yeast. That's it.
Her shipments go nationwide. And when you're this busy, it helps to have a little helper.
He helps me cook. He helps me. I actually just shared a video on my personal page. Yesterday we were making fresh juices and he was helping me scrub all the fruit. Yes.
I'm ready.
You're ready? Okay.
What are you gonna do?
Make cookies?
Charity says helping in the kitchen has been a part of Tobias's healing process. But getting to this point has been their toughest battle.
The last thing that I could have ever imagined was that we almost lost him.
On October 7th, 2023, Tobias had an allergic reaction to a chemotherapy medication.
He had to be immediately intubated. Then they had the doctor from the intensive care come down. And when she told me they don't know if he was going to survive, that's when it hit me.
But after 7 days on life support, he made a miraculous recovery.
And people say, oh, you're so strong. And really, I'm not. I just have no choice. And I can't give up, you know.
Mom, oh my God.
I know, baby. I'm okay.
Charity's relentless love and support saw them through to this day. A beautiful beginning for a little boy with a special superpower.
Focus on each day. Make it through this day, then you make it through the next day, and before you know it, you'll be at the end.
And what a beautiful end. I was there for the bell ringing. It was so special. And, when I got to just get to know them, you kind of become, attached. And I was just following their journey throughout. And they had some really dark moments, but they made it through the end. And she is an exceptional person, mom, chef. Truly an incredible family altogether, and they got through it because of that. So for the next 5 years, we'll have to continue to follow up with care, of course, just to make sure that cancer will never come back for them. But they're very, Todd, they're very grateful that, that they made it through this. They're a symbol of hope in a sense.
Honestly, I would say they are strong. That's the way I look at it. Man, just to go through that. Here's my question to you. It's one thing to have family that's there for support, but were there any organizations that stepped up to say, hey, we can help you in any way we can?
Absolutely. They were struggling in many respects. And for instance, Chasing a Dream Foundation and the Cancer Alliance of Help and Hope, just to name a few here. There's many others in the community that helped out, reached out to them and helped them get through this process. We have actually a full list of that on our website right now at WPTV.com.
Beautiful story.
Thank you.
You got it, honey. All right, Steve, here's my question to you. We've got, so we've had hail, we've had lightning, we've got wind and rain. Is it going to continue into this evening and into the weekend?
Yeah, it'll continue into the evening. It'll likely let up a little bit faster than it did last night, Todd, but I think we're looking at showers and storms through at least 7, maybe 8 o'clock tonight. Not everywhere, but we have widespread heavy rainfall and a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings. Here's a new one. I just showed you a couple of minutes ago. This is for St. Lucie County until 4:45. That's in addition to one a severe thunderstorm warning that is for the Tradition area along 95. This cell is essentially breaking in two with the core of this and the heaviest rain and the strongest part of the storm headed toward Fort Pierce and White City now, and another section of it headed down toward, well, Palm City Farms and into the Jensen Beach and Stewart area. There's some times of arrival. Of course, a lot of this storm has crossed 95 in the Turnpike up around northern Port St. Lucie. And a little farther south, the severe thunderstorm warning for northern Palm Beach County, that's been discontinued. This storm still packs a punch, though, as it moves through the acreage and in toward West Palm Beach in the next few minutes. So keep an eye on that one. It's having a big impact along North Lake Boulevard, West Lake, and all the way in toward the areas around Wellington. And here's a very strong storm that has a severe thunderstorm warning with it. This one is for Boca into the Lighthouse Point and into Deerfield, northern Broward County. This one is also nudging south. So if you live in Boca, it is starting to improve slowly, but it's going to take probably another half hour to 45 minutes. We had big rain rates during the afternoon, and we still have a flood advisory for West Palm down into Lake Worth Beach. That continues because of additional rainfall that could cause some flooding along roadways. Temperatures are rain cooled in a lot of areas, but we're still in the high 80s in other areas, and that means showers and storms are still possible into the evening. In the tropics, just a quick look, all quiet in the tropics, not expecting any development. We're going to get another round of showers and storms tomorrow, and it looks like all weekend, all holiday weekend, we could be dealing with at least some rain and some storms firing up each afternoon. The rainy season has really arrived in full force, Todd.
Well, Steve, here's my question to you. Is there anything like hail or things like that or some flooding that's going to happen this week?
There's certainly the threat. We have it today. We've had reports of hail. Just had a report in the acreage of dime-sized hail in the last 10 minutes from that storm that's working into West Palm. So, yeah, hail's an issue. Street flooding's an issue. Lots of lightning, dangerous lightning. So get inside if you get into any part of that storm.
All right, thank you. Folks, be safe out there. We'll be right back.
You're watching WPTV, part of the Scripps News Group.
All right, for you soccer lovers, the NWSL is on Ion tomorrow at 7:30. The Chicago Stars take on the Kansas City Current. Then at 10 p.m., it's Angel City versus Racing Louisville. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Ion is owned by the same company as WPTV. Now, scientists have discovered the fish made famous by the movie Finding Nemo has a unique trait, Chris.
Todd, this is wild. That's right. So they can shrink themselves. Scientists studying the fish off the coast of Papua New Guinea found the fish become smaller during heat waves. They believe this helps the fish minimize the heat stress. Scientists monitored the shrinking by measuring 134 clownfish over the course of a 5-month heat wave. They found about 100 fish shrank at least once during that time.
Oh, my goodness.
That's wild.
Now, researchers from Newcastle University also found that when the heat wave ended, clownfish returned to their normal size. Can you believe that one? Scientists now have plans to study other marine species during heat events to see how it impacts them. I can't believe you got Papua New Guinea good.
Thank goodness I can't do that because I'm short enough. I don't need to shrink it.
All right, now still ahead with summer approaching, new researchers show a surprising number of sunscreens aren't as safe as we think they are. We're helping you navigate which products that are safe and, more importantly, effective.
This is WPTV News at 4.
He was a person of service. You know, that's why he wanted to go into law enforcement.
A memorial site now stands in honor of a 19-year-old PBSO cadet who was killed in a motorcycle crash last week. We're hearing from his brother days after the tragedy. Tracking the push to protect state parks, we're sorting through the new law to protect wild places from development. And cutting the ribbon to a groundbreaking playground, the public park now accessible for kids of all abilities. Well, folks, this is a live look at I-95 near North Lake Boulevard. We're taking you straight to a traffic cam. Strong storms, as you can see, dropping some much-needed rain. It is a lot going on down there. Drive safe, everybody. We're in the Weather Center, of course, with First Alert Chief Meteorologist Steve Weigel. I got to ask you, we're looking at that traffic cam.
It's a mess.
That's a lot of rain. Are we expecting more tonight and into the weekend?
Yeah, I think at least into the early evening. Areas certainly that haven't seen rainfall so far will likely get some. Tomorrow morning looks good. These are the afternoon storms, Todd. This is the summer rainy season really kicking in here the next few days. In fact, our rain chances are high into Saturday and Sunday afternoon and likely Memorial Day. I want to show you where that traffic cam just was in North Lake and 95. We have a big downpour. The storm cell there is weakening, though, somewhat. Here's a look at it right here as it moves toward the east, but it's still a couple of lightning strikes and having a big impact in that area and moving into the, Riviera in toward the West Palm area in the next little while. All right, there's the wider view starting to clear out. And that severe thunderstorm warning that we had for northern Palm Beach County has now been discontinued. We have two warnings in place for St. Lucie County. We have the one storm that's working through Tradition in across the Turnpike and in toward the coastline and toward the Savannas. We also have a second one as that storm breaks apart and works its way north into toward Fort Pierce. That one's in effect for the next 15 to 20 minutes. That's this one right here. So two warnings in that area. Looks like one of them may have just been, one was just dropped. So we just have that one now. PGA Village getting hundreds of lightning strikes with that as that moves toward the northeast at about 15 miles an hour. A little farther south, another cell, which I just showed you, moving through the North Lake area, and a big storm cell with a warned area. That polygon there includes Boca and Highland Beach, but it is starting to improve. That storm is now pulling into Broward County. We also have the flood advisory for eastern Palm Beach County with a couple inches of rain on the ground. More storms are possible, but big rains and big storms possible for at least the next couple of hours. It started a little earlier today, Chris, and I think it'll end a little bit earlier, thankfully, as all this stuff starts to fade off. Another round tomorrow, though.
Just got to get through the next couple of hours, and then things will start to settle down as we approach sunset here. But just to kind of get you caught up, if you're just now tuning in, we have multiple warnings that are in effect here, too, in St. Lucie County, which are up until 4:45 this afternoon. These are both in effect because of large hail. We're getting winds up to 45, 50 miles per hour. And then we have this one here, a little bit farther to the south. It's extreme southeastern portions of Palm Beach County and northeastern portions of Broward County. That is also up until 4:45. That one, too, we're seeing very large hailstones. So another quick look at the radar. And you can see they're individual cells. We're not forming into a line or anything like that. They're just individual cells, two to the north, one to the south. Every one of them has hail cores. All right, and that hail is starting to fall to the ground, and some of the hail cores are very big. Take a look at the ones up here. This is St. Lucie County. That's what prompted the warning. We're getting reports of hail the size of quarters falling right now. Earlier today, we had lime-size hailstones that were falling. So just in case you're one of the ones that are in the warning right now, this is a hailstorm to go along with the heavy rain and cloud-to-ground lightning strikes. Here's what you do. If you're indoors, you stay away from windows and skylights, obviously, because the hail can break the windows and the skylights, and you don't want glass shattering everywhere and cutting you. All right, also close the drapes and the blinds. If you're outdoors, protect your head using your arms as well as your clothing. This will continue through 8 p.m. and then things will start to wind down. But again, all hazards in play here over the next couple of hours. Large hail, strong gusty winds, maybe even an isolated tornado. Todd?
All right, Chris, this has obviously turned into a much busier day than you expected.
Well, we knew it was going to be busy, but yes, we're getting a lot of warnings now, so maybe a little bit busier.
All right, thank you for everything. All right, our team coverage continues with WPTV's Michael Hoffman live in the Weather Pilot, keeping an eye on potential storm damage. Michael, what have you seen so far?
Well, Todd, right now we're in Royal Palm Beach. We're at the Publix parking lot at the intersection of State Road 7 and Southern Boulevard. Just take a look at what we're looking at right outside the vehicle here. This tree came down in the middle of this parking lot. Thankfully, it doesn't look as though it came down on any vehicles. Obviously, there are no people here. We have seen some of the staff from Publix come out here to set up this tape around here. But, as we were on our way out here, there was a lot of flooding, a lot of people being very cautious on the roads. And this is coming, Todd, just not even 2 weeks away from hurricane season. It hasn't even started. and we're seeing these severe weather effects happening just ahead of hurricane season. Now, for those of you who are watching, who are curious about what's going on, just stay indoors in the areas where you have the severe weather, just like Chris Sowers was telling you. We will be out here taking an account of what's going on. We will relay the information that you need. And it's moments just like these, you know, why we're having our Hurricane Preparedness Day on the 29th of May, just to get people ready for hurricane season, because as we can see here, the season hasn't even started and we're already getting the effects of that severe weather. So I'll send it back to you, Todd. We're going to keep looking around to see what's going on out here.
You got it.